Mid-Ohio around the corner. What is it like to be in this new facility, in this home state, and have this race coming up?
Well, first of all, I'm really proud to be part of Pagenaud Racing. It's a young team-ish, I should say, in the IndyCar series, and you know, it has just been very refreshing for me to be part of this team, help evolve the team to the top level. It's our first year together. We've had some success already, and we're sitting in the top 10 in the championship. So we're attacking the second part of the season now. And knowing each other now, I feel like we have good chances to do even better. And the goal is to be in the top 6 at the end of the year. And I'm looking forward to Mid-Ohio. It's a good track for me. I've been very successful there in the past. The car suits me well right now, so I'm hoping we can have a good weekend.
Young team, but experienced drivers. What is it like to have that with you here as part of that and try to integrate your experience and Helio's experience with the team here and try to make that mesh?
It's definitely very important to have someone like Helio by my side, because it gives you a comfort in your decisions, in your choices. The fact that we're both heading in the same direction with the development of the race car, and it gives confidence to the team also that, you know, if the two drivers are saying the same thing, then it's the right way to go. Development obviously takes time, so you want to make sure you're making the right decisions going forward, and that's what Helio and myself bring to the team. Plus a really good atmosphere, because we have really good matching personality.
What made joining this team the right decision about a year ago, and what have you learned over this past year, I guess?
Well, for me, I was at a stage of my career where I needed a challenge that fulfilled my qualities, and I felt like I was needed here to bring my experience, but also my technical knowledge, and I'm fully involved with the engineering side into developing toward the future a faster race car, and I enjoy that. I'm also very involved with Mike Shank, Jim Meyer, and Helio in thinking about the future of the team, and it's something that I really enjoy, just seeing the bigger picture.
I wonder about the bigger picture. I was reading about your bio just in 2007 when you were trying to figure out where to go next. How did this fit into the bigger picture, and did you ever imagine yourself being in a Pagenaud, Ohio Pagenaud Racing team and thinking about, you know, not just the day and the event of the race, but everything in general, or what you're looking for long-term, big picture, like you said?
Well, I mean, if you ask me what I was thinking about when I was 4 years old, I wanted to be an Indy 500 champion at 4 years old. So think about my journey. I'm not from a racing family. It was a very far-fetched dream, and still it happened. And you know, I won the IndyCar championship. It doesn't matter where you're from, such as for me, as being here in Pataskala, it doesn't make you fast. You just have to be, you know, a strong team, wanting to be the best, and that's what this team has. It's that mentality that I really enjoy. I'm certainly looking forward to the future, where I see such a huge potential for this team, and I want to be part of it for a long time.
Where does that passion come from, to have it year in and year out? You're 38 now, is that right?
Yep.
How do you keep coming back to that passion that you had when you were 4 years old?
Well, I tell you, it's refreshing because it's a new challenge, right? It's also more rewarding when you work with a team that's on the growth side of things. So when things go well, you feel very rewarded by your efforts, and it's a team that's still at a human scale. So you still feel the passion from everyone. You feel like everybody wants to celebrate a podium, a second place, first place, and that's what it's all about. It's a passion. It's a work of passion. So I'm glad to be part of it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Great. I'll get into Mid-Ohio and being part of this racing team, but first, you said something when Michael was talking about bringing kids in, and you have to have passion. I wonder, how do you still have that passion at your age, and you come back and it seems like you have it year in and year out? Where does it come from?
Well, it's, you know, sometimes people don't realize that when you do what you love, it's not a job. You know, it's also actually it's vacation every day. However, you do have responsibilities, and in the end of the day, you still got to perform and do what you love, which is you want to win every race. You want to perform as best as you can, but the work ethic behind the hard work, and you know, there is a lot of more people with the same scenario. And you got to make sure that you just keep going and don't listen to people that sometimes, and noises, because that's the problem these days. the social media and all these things, it's able to distract you from your goal. You just got to stay in course, and that's what's happening. I'm still staying course, still love what I do, and I'm going to keep it going until that fire goes away.
What made Meyershank Racing the right course to take in this part of your career?
In my case, Mike was very honest with me. When we had the connection and conversation, he said, look, I might not have the best equipment, but I have the best that I can give you. And I tell you what, that was good enough to go out there and win the Indy 500. So the combination of that passion both of us have, the organization and the group that he has, it was absolutely exactly what we need. And I was just so happy to be able to, you know, they gave me my fourth, I gave their first, which is a dream come true.
Now, you've been here for about a year now, is that right, Meyershank Racing?
Correct.
What have you learned in the past year? Is it still possible to learn after all the years that you've gone through, and what have you if you have?
Absolutely. Learning is a part of our routine, let's put it this way. And I remember a big guy, a big hero of mine, sorry, it's Rick Mears. He always said, you always learn until you're kind of like 6 or 7 feet under the ground. That's when you start learning. And he's right. Doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter how old, doesn't matter what kind of profession, you always learn.
And what do you take from those learning experiences as you go into a new team? It's experienced drivers. Simon said it's a young team, but experienced drivers. What do you try to do to make that mesh and work well together on a team like this?
Well, every new beginning is always, there is a process, and those process sometimes there was highs and lows, which is that's why they call process. You just gotta continue pushing. You just gotta continue working, and I tell you what, when it clicks, it's gonna click in every place, and that's what we're going through. As you can see, amazing shop, amazing facility, and these guys, they're giving every sweat they can to put us out there. So we're gonna continue battling and pushing so that we can get the result that this team deserves.
What's it going to take to get that result at a racing course that means so much to Mike, having grown up around there? It's his home course. I'm sure you have a home course and it means something to you. What is it going to take to do that?
Yeah, we're going to have to put a little bit of the elbows out, you know, and grind your teeth a little bit and get ready, because it's very competitive in the IndyCar Series today. You're talking about hundreds of seconds, especially to Mid-Ohio, a place that the track changes every lap, especially when you're searching for speed. So I can see that's going to be the same way, and but we're ready. We're ready to go for that battle.
Last question is, you mentioned the facility. Just what was your first reaction when you saw this place and what they're doing here?
I couldn't believe it when I saw it, you know, finishing up, and I thought, Mike, this is the beginning of a great future for MSR. I'm happy to be part of it. I want to do everything I can to take over, and I guarantee this is going to bring a lot of jobs, a lot of proud in the area, and I tell you, this is, as I mentioned before, is just the beginning.
I appreciate the time. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Does it tire on you yet of getting to show people what you guys are building?
No, we are nothing but super proud of this place. You know, we put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in this, and we went through COVID where we got real nervous about building it, and we built it right out of COVID, you know, and it represents everything about our team, the future, now the future, for our partners, sponsors, OEM partner, which is Honda and Acura right now. We wanted to create a place that represents Central Ohio, specifically the east side here with Pagenaud. You know, that we are in big time racing to stay, and we're going to continue to make it better, and we're going to do it right here in Central Ohio. And we'll see where that goes ultimately, but it's worked pretty well for us now. And listen, we're not going to win all the races. I mean, we're going to lose more than we win, but every time we lose, it just drives me further and harder. And it's a guttural thing that you just cannot stand to lose. And now I'm grown up enough now I turn that into, I hope, more positive energy to figure out where our weaknesses, recognize them, and try to fix them. And this facility is where we fix them.
You're close to where you mentioned a couple of times when you were walking through about Mid-Ohio and what it meant to you.
Yeah.
Why does it mean so much to you, and what is it going to mean to come back this year?
It'd be like the kids that go with their parents to tailgate at Ohio State football games back when they were 7, 6, 7, 8 years old. You know, that's where it started with me, but it was in racing. So I grew up with nothing but the stars of the day that time, you know, Ray Halls and Rutherfords and Andretti's and Unsers, and I grew up idolizing those guys and the teams, the Penske's and all that type of thing, you know, and I started modeling myself. I watched what they do, and I'm trying to figure out how I can get there, because we didn't have the backing, the financial backing to do that. So we had to create another avenue. For me, it was me driving and also taking care of other people's cars, and they would pay me to do that, like attorneys and doctors and people that could maybe afford a little, and I slowly made that a living and a team, you know. And I kept driving and kept working, and finally, eventually, the driving went away, and the preparation and the engineering took over, and that's kind of, you know, where we're at today.
You mentioned a phrase, creating an avenue. It seems like that's what you're doing now with the area, trying to get kids interested and kids that have a passion for this. What made you motivated to do that after all the success that you've had, and you're building something new here, to add that side project?
You know, no BS here. You know, we're running out of people to hire. We're having a hiring problem just like any other small business in America, and any trade does right now. So how can we solve that? So, you know, to us, it's trying to find kids, male or female, that have passion for the automobile, motorized, electric, I don't care what it is, have some aptitude to want to be involved in the auto industry, specifically racing. If they have any inklings of that, with any kind of work ethic, I'm going to find them, and we're going to give them a job. And a lot of these kids don't have college in their plans. So, you know, in our society today, you're looked down on when you don't go to school. When you go to graduation in high school, where are you going? I don't know. That's not a fun thing to tell people. What I'm saying is it's okay. As long as you have attitude and aptitude and are willing to work, because you're going to have to outwork them. You gave up that freedom of working less, not going to college. That's how I accept it. I just got to work hard. And I've probably got 4 kids here right now that are in that kind of program right now, and we'll see, and hopefully we'll get 1 diamond out of that.
What does it mean for you to provide that where you're from, 15 minutes down the road from where you grew up?
Yeah, I'm pretty simple that way. You know, my family and my wife's family are all based on the east side of Columbus, and I live out at Buckeye Lake now, and I love that. And I never even thought for a minute to move it to what we call the racing capitals in the U.S. For me, it was always about here, and we pay a price for that a little bit with finding people, but ultimately I think it's serviced well over the long run.
You found 2 really talented, experienced drivers to join a relatively young team. What was that mesh been like of 2 guys that bring that experience with guys that you have?
It was very specific, because we were a young team, are a young team. I needed drivers with experience. Right. That's the path we chose. We could have hired anybody we wanted, honestly. We could have hired a young guy coming up, but for us, we felt we needed experience, and they also, by the way, it got us this, right? So this came from Helio, from a guy with 20-some years of experience, and that's ultimately why we did it.
And when you look ahead to the rest of the season, it's kind of the halfway point. 8 races down, 9 to go. What have you liked so far, and what still needs improving before the end?
Yeah, if you ask me, I would grade us at a C right now. We're just not where we need to be. There's moments of greatness, and then not the result we necessarily need. So I would say there's lots of room for improvement. We work every day to be better and understand each other and figure out what everybody needs to be better, and it's just a constant game. It's exactly like the Blue Jackets go through in practice during the week when they get beat. Like, what did we do wrong? Let's analyze it. We look at film. We do everything that normal stick and ball teams do, and figure out a way to be better. So we're going to make this program better. If I'm at a C now, if I could end the year at like a B or B minus, I'd be okay right now, because that's hard to get there actually.
Use that momentum going.
Just try to keep rolling it forward.
Anything else that you might have?
No, I'm just, you know, it's taken a long time for Central Ohio to know that we're here, and I'm just glad a lot of people know that we are now. And we always invite people to come and see us at Mid-Ohio or Indy 500, any track. If you tell us where you're from, you know, we want to know you.
There's something to see now too.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot to see. All right.